You called it wisdom, discernment, strategy, but it was actually fear, dressed in the robes of the magician, casting illusions so you'd never risk being seen. Fear rarely arrives in a costume. It wears your voice, uses your instincts, calls itself logic, caution, and foresight. It tells you it's protecting you when really it's running the whole kingdom behind your eyes. This is how most people live, not guided by truth, but governed by fear dressed as insight. You think you're being wise, but what you call wisdom is often a long rehearsal for loss, 1,000 what-ifs, a library of exits, a life lived through premonition instead of presence. This is the shadow of the archetype of the magician. Not the sacred seer, but the architect of avoidance, the one who twists perception until the heart believes it's choosing freely while the body braces for catastrophe. You trusted this God because it kept you alive, because it helped you see through people, situations, and systems. It helped you move before you were moved against. It helped you read the room like scripture, and for a while, that power made you feel safe, sovereign even. But it was sovereignty built on separation, on suspicion, on the belief that safety is control, and the control is everything. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. Fear will give you results. It will keep you alive. It will make you perceptive. It will make you useful to others. It'll make you look smart and psychic and wise and ahead of your time. But it will cost you your life, because fear, especially the kind dressed in clarity, doesn't just protect you. It shrinks you, it isolates you, and it trains your nervous system to treat possibility as threat. And eventually, your gifts become weapons turned inwards. Your intuition becomes paranoia. Your foresight becomes delay. Your discernment becomes self-sabotage. You stop trusting the world. And worse, you stop trusting yourself. Because every time you try to leap, fear whispers, "Not yet. It's not safe. Wait." Every time you speak truth, fear suggests, "Tone it down, soften it, stay liked." Every time love appears, fear runs probability scans. It remembers betrayal. Every collapse, it tells you, "Don't confuse this with coherence. You've been wrong before." And because fear sounds like you listen. You think you're being intuitive, but it's not intuition, it's programming. The magician, when distorted, doesn't offer truth. He offers misdirection. He casts fog and calls it foresight. He creates false clarity, not to deceive others, but to keep himself from ever truly being vulnerable again. Because long ago, you trusted the wrong person. You revealed too much. You leapt too early, and it hurt. So the magician takes over. The magician builds a system, a fortress, a language of insight, strategy, withdrawal, and soon it becomes your identity. You weren't the one who needed help. You were the one who saw through everything. But here's the cost. You've been seeing through everything for so long, you haven't been in anything real, because presence requires surrender, and surrender can't exist in a room where fear is king. And fear has been king, not by force but by seduction. It convinced you it was your greatest ally, that without it, you'd make a mess of your life, that your perception was the only thing that made you valuable. But it was lying, because the real magician, the sacred one, doesn't need fear to see. He sees through fear. He names it, disarms it. He watches it without letting it alter his spell. The sacred magician lives in clarity, not caution, in stillness, not surveillance, in trust, not tracking. But to return to him, you must stop worshipping the shadow version. You must stop calling your hesitation intelligence. Stop calling your paralysis patience. Stop calling your isolation discernment. Because if you're honest, you haven't really moved in years. You stayed and existed on the threshold, analyzing, planning, projecting, avoiding, procrastinating, watching life like a film that you're apparently too wise to enter into. And still you wonder why nothing changes. Here's why. Fear cannot build your real life. It can protect it, shield it, delay its loss, but it cannot birth anything. Only devotion can do that. Only truth, only movement. Unprotected, unpolished, unapologetic. And yes, you will get it wrong sometimes. You'll misread signals. You might leap and then land in chaos, but you will be alive. And for once, you'll be inside the moment, not preparing for imagined failure. That's what the real magician teaches, not how to escape life, but how to speak it into being, not how to analyze the future, but how to meet it with open hands. And if you're ready, truly, truly ready, you can lay down the false altar. You can say, thank you, fear, for all you did, but your reign is over. You are no longer my God. And in that moment, something sacred will rise, not caution, not clairvoyance, clarity. And clarity, once no longer tethered to terror, becomes freedom. Fear made you very powerful, but only truth can make you free. Welcome to the Archetype Speaks.